Oh, there we go. Thanks for joining, Dani.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for having me.
Where are you currently?
I am in one of the offices at Invictus CrossFit in San Diego.
How long have you been training there?
About 3 years now. Came here in 2021 right at the start of the season.
Where were you based out of before that?
Orlando, Florida.
Okay, is that where you're from?
No, from Colorado. And then I went to school in Florida and then stuck around there and then came out here, as one does.
How long have you been CrossFitting for?
So I started in essentially like 2017, so like late 2016, and then 2018 was my first individual regionals, and then
Okay.
2019 was my first games.
Wow, 2019. And that year, it's interesting because people who went to the 2019 games, like a lot of them, I don't feel like I know or connected with just because we had like hundreds of people
We
there.
had so many people there.
Yeah,
It
because
was
of that
wild.
that new format. Did I
Mhm.
actually meet you at that games or
You did. You
okay?
did. Nothing but good things. So,
Yes, yes, exactly. And then how many years after that did you qualify for?
so I qualified in 2020, 2021, 2022, missed last year, and now we're back.
Yeah, you did great at semifinals.
Thank you. Yeah, it was a pretty fun time. I liked all the events. I liked the people I was competing with. Everything ran. It was cool to be in Carson because I missed that. My first year was in Madison, so it
Yeah.
was really nice to yeah.
I mean, Carson, that was really like I've said this on other interviews and I've said this to other people, but like the even though there wasn't a lot of fans, the energy and the vibe and just how cool it was so fun.
It was for me it was still great because I when I first started that was where I was watching YouTube videos of the people in Carson, and so it was surreal being down there on that field. So it felt great to me.
Yeah,
I had the
yeah.
crowd in my head.
It was definitely something special. How often are you training a day? How many hours?
A lot. Right now we're definitely ramping up. So I do a morning and an afternoon session, each around like 3 to 4 hours, and then supplemental bodybuilding at night, or like a swim in the middle or run, just something like that. So it's quickly climbing up there to where we always joke that it's like we're going all day every day, but it's quickly becoming an all day thing right now, ramping up for games.
Yeah. What other games athletes are there with you?
So right now, like it's me and like some of the teams that qualified
Okay.
out of the game. So like we jump in and do some stuff together, but a lot of times it's me going around the gym and just picking my my sacrifice for the day, and I'm like, you're gonna do this with me, and people are really awesome here. They're like, okay,
That's
so
awesome.
yeah, it's a really good community.
Do you guys because I know we used to do a lot of stuff at that gym back in the day, like decades ago. We used to do seminars and we used to be heavily involved with them, even before CJ owned it. But it's broken into the two sections. Does the community interact and engage with you guys, or do you guys stay separate? Or how do you feel like your involvement with that community in that gym is?
I purposely go and place myself like in like both sides. Like I don't stick to one side. The community is great. They're very like they're always, do you need this space, or like what are you doing? And they're very accommodating. They're very kind. But I place myself like around like just the normal members like all the time and just like work out beside them. I think it's great. I think it's
Yeah,
fun, and
that's
it just kind
awesome.
of gives them like a taste of. I encourage them always to like jump in. I'm like, we can scale stuff, and so I love it when just someone like normal or like a drop in, and I'm like, do you want to work out? And they're like, okay.
That's awesome. That's super
Yeah,
cool
so
that you
it's my
do that.
favorite.
Yeah. What do you when you run, what are your thoughts on running in general? I had to ask. What
I
do
knew,
you,
I was like, he's definitely gonna bring it up.
what are your,
um
because we know like that's not a strength for you, clearly.
no, not at all. It's more of, you know it's not like a strength of mine. My legs just like they blow up. Like I never feel like I'm really like out of breath. It's just like my legs just all of a sudden they're already heavy, and then it's like we strap some ankle weights. So I've been working on like positive self-talk when I run, because usually I'm just it's like a mind game for me. So at semifinals when we were going, I'd be like, okay, just make it out of the tunnel. And I'd be like, okay, just make it to this first set of stairs. And I was like, just count to 100 and you're at the top of the stairs. So it's definitely just kind of like this constant battle of like you're just almost done, instead of just getting into a rhythm of like get comfortable. It's it's more of I'm just counting down until I'm done. I've been doing a whole lot of running and just trying to fall in love with the process of getting better of running because I've just kind of accepted that I'm probably never going to be like a lover of running. So, just do what you got to do. You get through the running to play is how I'm kind of seeing things now.
Do you enjoy the training of running? Like when you're training and doing more running, not in competition, do you actually find it now that you kind of enjoy it? And
Oh,
especially with
yeah.
your attitude,
Yeah,
that
yeah.
positive, yeah,
Yeah, I
that's
do.
cool.
I've been doing like a lot of just like zone tune work on the beach, and that's always on. Like it's really hard to be like negative when you're just out there like on the beach running, seeing like dolphins. It's like really hard to have a bad attitude. So that's great. And I don't mind runs like in workouts. I actually really like it when it's capped at like a 400 meter and then you have like other stuff going on. So running and training is great. But yeah, it's when it starts creeping up to those like longer distances where I'm like I slog a little bit. But I've been doing a lot of those longer stuff on the beach, so I can continue to just do it and have like a positive mindset.
I really like that approach and with your positive mindset and the setting small goals. It's interesting because when you said that, it really made me think to when I was 18 or 19 going through BUDS, the SEAL training. And like, because it's so long, I had to use that same strategy just to make it through a single day. And what I mean by that is I'd wake up in the morning and I'd say, all I want to do at this point is make it to breakfast. And I'd make it to breakfast, and that was a huge victory. All I want to do now is make it to lunch. And so I set little goals to make it just to the next section of the day, not even thinking that I have a week more of this or I have 5 more months, just chunking it up. And that helped me
Yeah,
so much. And even now with long workouts or other things like you're suggesting, long runs, setting these little micro goals within something large really helps. And so
I
that was,
have to.
yeah,
I
that
can't
was,
look at like the long term of like even a workout, or I'll just like, wow, that's 150 reps. I'm
yeah.
like, it's just 10 right now.
Speaking of 150 reps, do you like the benchmark, Karen?
Oh yeah, I love
Yeah.
Karen. I
Have
love
you,
heavy Karen.
oh man, you've done it with 20 pounds?
Yeah, I have.
Damn. What's your time?
Oh, it was a while ago. I'm not gonna
Okay.
know like an actual time, but I don't know. Now that you mention it, I wouldn't mind doing heavy Karen. Maybe I'll do that this week.
Yeah, if you do, let me know how you do. I'd be
Yeah, I
really
will.
interested. Have you ever done the female version unbroken?
Yes.
Oh wow, that's
I've done the
fucking
male version
insane.
unbroken. I've like done, yeah. Wall balls are
Oh
like my jam. So light
man,
little squat.
that's awesome. I know a lot of males can do the male version unbroken, but that's awesome to hear that you've done that unbroken.
I
That's an
I
incredible mental test.
I went for it because there was some kind of competition. I can't remember, but Annie Thor's daughter, she did the female Karen Unbroken. This was like years ago.
Oh
And
wow.
on her interview, she also said that she could do like the male like version, like Unbroken. I was like, I'm gonna go for it.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Thanks to her.
That's awesome. What other benchmarks do you like?
DT.
Oh, DT.
Yeah.
You're
One of
the
my
second person. Yesterday, I think it was Roman said he really, or was it Roman? Someone else said they really like DT.
I was like, it would check out with Roman.
Yeah, yeah,
But one of my favorite videos from like games in the past years was there was like you guys did heavy DT, and I
yep.
think maybe it was the following year you did double
Double
DT or
DT. Yeah,
reverse or something like that. And I was
yeah.
like, that's nice. Would
That
love to
that
have
was
DT.
that was a cool. It was interesting because sometimes we talk about how in years in advance we have concepts and workouts planned. That was one of those things where it's like, all right, 1 year we're gonna plan double DT. I don't remember the order either. And then it was like, and then quick follow the next year, we'll do
Hmm.
the opposite version of heavy DT. Even the same sort of thing we did with Murph. We had one version of Murph and then played around with another. And so clearly, strength is your strength.
Yep.
Um, do you really enjoy lifting heavy and training?
Yeah, I do. It's more of I like heavy, but I like the moderately heavy and you're just like slugging through a workout. I really do I love heavy sandbags, like tossing around like the 150 or 200 in a workout. I love like the odd object stuff. But I'm not a lot of people think that I'd be a fan of like one rep maxes, but I actually really hate like going
Oh
for like
wow.
a max lift. I would rather do 20 reps at my 90% than just
Oh,
go
that's
for a
cool to
one
hear.
rep. Yeah. So I
Yeah.
actually like really do not like one rep maxes. They stress me out. um I would prefer to like, yeah, grind away at like a high rep at a high percentage than just go for a 1 rep.
And you're pretty good inverted on your hands too, right?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
did gymnastics like growing up, so I was
Oh, okay.
competitive for a little over 10 years, so pretty comfortable in my hands.
Yeah. What advice do you have for rookies or newer people at the games?
So it was funny. I just got asked this question, but for me, I look back at my first season, 2020, 2019, and while I know that I was there and I have photos and I have videos, I didn't take the time to really soak it in and like look up at the crowd and
Yeah.
take note of what I was hearing and what I was seeing, and because I was just so nervous that I
Yeah.
can't remember a lot of moments from that year, and I regret that so much. So I always tell people, if it's your first year, I know you're going to be nervous. You're going to be in the corral. You're going to be a little shaky. You're going to have the butterflies. But when you walk out into the stadium or in the Coliseum or something, you got to take a second to just like look around and remember that you've made it, because so many people are going to try for years and years to go to the games and they're never going to get the opportunity. So like, just don't go there and like forget everything and not actually experience the experience.
That's awesome. That's great advice. Before we wrap it up, do you have any questions or anything you want to ask me?
Out of 12 to 15 events, uh do we know like outside stuff? Yeah, I'm not gonna ask about the running. I actually like don't I hate knowing events ahead of time. I hate it.
Do Oh, that's funny. Do we know about the outside stuff? Like,
Yeah.
do you mean how many?
How many, or like if we're, because I know that there's been so much speculation about we're not going to have anything outdoors, but then there was just something announced that we do have a nighttime event on
Mhm.
Friday night. um and I'm just curiosity purposes, like, are we going to have outdoor events? Because like that's a lot of people love that at the game, so I'm just wondering if it's going to be like purely indoors or
Yes,
outdoor.
we're for sure gonna have outdoor events. And as you mentioned, the Farrington Field event, that's gonna be outdoors. That's gonna be Friday night under the lights. And then I think the complete picture of how many outdoor events and what that'll look like, should be complete within a week or so. So you
Oh,
guys will
cool.
have
Okay.
more information
Nice.
on it all, very soon.
Okay, I figured it was coming out soon. I thought maybe I'd get the inside scoop, but guess not.
Well, Danny, I really appreciate this chat. Thanks for taking the time out of your morning and your training session to hop on.
Yeah, of
And
course.
looking forward to seeing you at the games.
Yeah, I'll see you soon.
Thanks.
Thanks,
Bye.
Dave.